Okay, Mr. Beer, you through? Mr. Keystone, you wanna take a break, or you wanna go right in?
What do you guys think? Topic up was, there's, I don't know how many are familiar, but I thought we'd walk for a little bit and didn't get to study like I wanted to, but, so we all get to walk together. There's some upcoming pretty significant Cub changes taking place in June. Scouts BSA changed a little bit, if you don't know, for the first of the year. So I've just got a couple of things that, I figure, on the Cub especially, all of us are, almost all of us here are a little bit out of Cub world these days. So getting, a better view on that doesn't hurt for what we can talk about. And then just, the Scouts BSA is a little different, and not nearly as significant for what's changed. So a couple of things. So no more cyber chip.
Thank you, Lord.
Yeah, so I think Steve, you and I were talking about that a few months ago. The problem being, you get the couple of kids whose parents won't do it.
They won't do it.
They won't do it. And they just sit there.
So they're just stuck. Can't even get Scout because their parents won't do it with them. So that ability that there can be a substitute to get through some of that is definitely an improvement. On the other end, no more 3 months for palms. So I guess that continues that, you get Eagle, you get the palms for everything you've already earned, but now you get 5, you go to Merit Badge Day, a week after you get Eagle, you get 5 Merit Badges. You get, you get the palm right then. That's,
and that's what I tell the kids in our troop is like, once you get the weight of Eagle, you got to have all the.
Yeah, you get to have all the fun. I think the only thing I feel like on the palms of, not, and I mean, I know all of us had pretty low bars for participation, but not having that rule there for, you got to at least show up once.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. You want to see their face.
You want to see their faces like, well, we kind of lost that. But, the ones who really do stuff, I mean, I think the exceptional ones, that's where we go and, find another place for them. Exactly like Mike said, if you got to convince them, if you got to sell them hard to show up once every 3 months, they weren't really in it anyway. Let's figure out something they can do, venturing, some of the older youth programs, figure out how to get them into OA, do something else to keep the real interest. Okay, they earn a badge, give it to them. Basically what that says. So you do sort of have that Scoutmaster conference with the Scout Oath and Law. You do get a chance to talk about that for a few minutes, so it's not completely automatic. Then just sort of going through, a lot of the merit badges change, some more than others, but like first aid being Eagle required. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 requirements change.
And sustainability became attainable.
Awesome. I haven't looked at
it became obtainable.
Yeah,
because it's
much easier.
If you actually did everything, your parents would kick you out of the house.
There's been stacks and stuff everywhere.
Or we went to the Sun Treehouse.
You needed to unplug the clock when you weren't watching it to save on electricity.
But I mean, most of them, I mean, I haven't read all the requirements, but they all seem like sensible places. I mean, I think all of us would say doing more first aid hands-on is nothing but positive.
Absolutely.
practice. You know, I mean, the reality is us 50-year-olds are going to need a bunch of the first aid. It's not them. I mean, that's why I want them to have CPR to
Take care of us.
revive me, because they're not going to have a heart
that
attack.
teaches them, no, you don't.
I'd rather have them, even doing it badly is probably better than not doing it all.
Agreed.
Jim, we've got a link to this on the YouTube.
I can put it on there.
We
Yeah.
can. I sent these to him, so yeah,
Yeah.
he'll be able to,
And then
pull
maybe
those.
even get it, see if we can blast it out in the newsletter or something too, or just a link to it. Because
Yeah.
they need to know about this. I mean, this is
Where do these merit badge changes go?
So these took
January
effect in January.
January 1.
So,
2024.
Mike, do you know I'm not, or maybe Raj, you do, I'm not positive on the rules, but you have some time to keep using the old one.
Intelligence Scout Book.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
like if you
If
start,
you already started it.
then you got.
but, if you started it 3 years ago,
You might want to switch.
you probably want to switch. I mean, there was one I picked, we just did automotive maintenance in our troop, and, we finished it the other day. I was like, okay, guys, look, this changed. Do y'all want to get the merit badge or do you want to learn? Because the changes
The hybrid technology.
make sense. They've got hybrid and electric in there, and they had a good debate on like, no, let's just go ahead and get the badge, but let's
Talk about it.
talk about it and learn the other stuff. But let's close out the merit badge, and I thought that was a great answer.
I mean, there are a lot of kids who started sustainability at winter camp under the old,
Right.
because unless the merit badge counselor went out and got the brand new.
But it may be a
He or
whole
she
lot
could
easier.
have.
Yeah, it
It's
may
a
be a
whole lot
whole lot
easier.
easier to start over on some of these.
Well, they got everything all but a couple of items, I
Okay.
think, at winter camp, so they don't
They
have
got a
much to
long
finish.
way.
They got a long way, so it just depends on what you wanna do personally, what you wanna finish up, just
But,
depends on.
so
what
automotive maintenance was a bunch of changes, but first aid, lots of changes there. So Eagle required swimming, good number of changes there.
It's the
Sustainability,
strokes.
yeah, they want to be more clear on
On the
those.
strokes, yeah, that was.
Because if you went out, if you read when you had it up there, it said, clarification on the strokes
Right.
and doing the strokes properly. So, a lot of it is some clarification, some of them are completely revamping, a lot of things in there, so some of them are minor, some of them are major, you just gotta go out there and see what it is.
But definitely, anybody, merit badge counselor, or, those of us doing merit badge days, any of these, it obviously starting it, but if you're continuing it, same question of, hey, some of the new rules may make a lot more sense to follow those, even if you're in the middle of it. It may be easier and better.
Keep back and talk about the Cub Scout stuff.
Yeah, so, it's all the changes. There's a couple of different ones. We can send out those links for the Scouts BSA stuff. And so, now the Cub one is significantly different. If you want to flip over to that one, Jeremy. And really, those are the kind of two. Actually, before we, there's a couple of more rank changes on the bottom of that one that I noticed. I thought.
It was at the top, it was before the.
Is it?
That's before the-
Yeah, it was just a.
Yeah. Okay. So it's only the cyber chip.
No, it's Scout 6
On
and
the
Star
right, but
6.
you had to do cyber chip twice.
The
Right,
first,
you had to do
yeah.
it the
Yeah,
first
the cyber chip.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cyber chip.
And
Personal
now we
safety.
have a personal safety, which I'm assuming is an online thing that, can we, is there a way to do that as a troop?
It's probably individual based.
This is.
Okay. But yeah, a couple of different views on
And then.
the merit badge
And
stuff.
then your Eagle Palm, they no longer have to wait
Right.
3 months anymore.
Right.
Good deal.
Yeah. So, Yeah, covered that one.
Really?
So that, ranked pretty small there. Do something that, individual, but, we can, hopefully, it doesn't involve their parents on the personal safety one. That we can, kind of.
What were the changes in the arrow and light?
I'll talk about that.
Yeah. So
Here we go.
That's,
These are all the
So-
changes that are happening.
and that's the why. I can talk about the changes here
yeah, there's a
down there.
yeah.
This might be one of the most well thought out changes in 37 years of my scouting experience. They said everything was just all over the place. When talking with the kids, there were 3 things that were really on the top of their list that they liked doing: riding bikes, fishing, and hiking. But only one of those opportunities were at 3 of the different grade levels. So if they came in too late, they missed their shot at going on a hike and so they brought everything down. So every rank, first they separated Arrow of Light to its own book, its own program. You see the different changes on the pins, the arrowhead shape versus the diamond shape. And so if you look up there, you'll see that there's 6 different themes, and those are all the required activities. Every level, every year they'll earn Bobcat requirements, and it's just kind of a refresher and an enhancer on the different age levels.
So it's the same Bobcat requirements,
Yeah.
or they're slightly different?
Everything is different.
Okay.
So here's the beauty in it too. Say you're in a smaller pack, and you have 2 second graders, 3 third graders. Those requirements, let's say the outdoors, they're similar enough that they can do together, and the bear just has to do 1 or 2 extra things a little bit more. So again, this is like what I'm saying. This makes sense.
It also is a continuation
Correct.
of the Scout.
All 6 things.
It goes straight into Scouts.
Correct. And so you have your duty to God at the bottom, you have personal safety, citizenship, personal fitness, outdoors, and then your character leadership. So if you scroll down below that, you should see the electives. So you have to do the 6 required at each rank, and then 2 electives. Now the opportunity is on electives, they may be further down, but for Lion and AOL, Arrow of Light, and it might be further down. Okay, so there are 20 for Lion and Arrow of Light. There are 16 electives that they can choose from. And again, that should be done on an individual basis.
Right, it should be what they want.
Correct. Now some of those are like Pinewood Derby at all levels. Fishing, cycling, swimming, camping, conservation. Again, those are all consistent across the different ranks. For Lion AOL, there's 16 options for them to choose from. On the other ranks, there's 20 electives for them to choose from. So, I appreciate the fact that it's consistent. Especially coming out of COVID, we have a lot of packs that have smaller dens still, so they can work together instead of having to be creative. One of the other pretty cool things that they presented are these activity cards. So for each lesson, it's not up there, but I can send these to you guys to include in the email. So there's a little card for the requirements. So it talks about energy level 1 out of 5, from very low energy, which is listening, to 5, which is running. So there's 4 little circles for each activity, each requirement. So it has energy level, well, it has location, indoor, outdoor, travel, energy level, so supplies that you need, again, 1 through 5, and prep time. No prep time needed to more than a week ahead of time. And so I thought that was just a nice having that.
So this is like how to prepare for this activity,
Right. This is
on a
what you
one
can
sheet
expect.
card.
Yeah, and again, that was one of the things that always drove me nuts is, we didn't use the den program features. And, we ended up, I always had district leadership buy it for the packs. I said, this is your whole year already planned.
It's done.
Right.
Same with the troops, using the troop program features. I've used that in my troops for 19 of the 24 years. Let the kids pick which topics they want to do for the next 3 months, and then you vote again after 2 months and see how they change. But another cool change is the summertime pack award is now one requirement, and it's not based on everybody going, it's an individual. So they just have to participate anytime during May through August in 3 Cub Scout activities. And at each rank they can earn the summertime pack.
God, that's made it so
Nice.
simple.
So,
Does it have to be with their pack?
no.
So just any Cub activity, go to it. So
Earning a venture is not dependent on others' participation.
nice.
And that's what I always tell people who are like, "Oh, my son doesn't want to go on." And I'm like, "Because you had to do all this stuff in Cub Scouts, like it was, it was
There's a
overwhelming."
summertime fun. So you can, that's one requirement anytime during May through August, not dependent on others' participation.
That's great.
So, they've put this together over the last 2.5 years, and they've just been, holding on to it. We won't see, I don't know, I think it's April is when they're talking about releasing the materials, because they don't want to interfere. This wasn't supposed to really be discussed until, I think, February, but, Anthony just can't help himself. I've known him since I started in Orlando.
I mean, it's great to be excited about a good plan.
This is a great.
This looks like a good plan.
Right, that's why
It makes it easier for the den leaders, for sure.
Yes. But again, I appreciate the duty to God aspect. And,
Absolutely.
Yep.
If we stray from that pillar, then who will? So,
It's gonna help the small packs.
correct.
That was going to help them immensely.
Right.
I saw there was another.
Resources. We're sitting here saying we don't have the resources. I remember being in Cub Scouts and having 1 million kids and still not having enough
Yeah.
people help out. People just drop way.
What the hell we want when I was at
It's babysitted in America.
a spring roundup as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's feasible now, but if you can get a couple of Cub masters and
If you're gonna have a summertime activity, if you're not going dormant, then I am okay with helping facilitate that. If we're recruiting kids in March or April and you're not doing anything until August or September, that doesn't make sense.
that was, we did our spring, I wanna say it was the first week of February. And the first weekend in February, and so we had till May.
And they can start earning their ranks and all that stuff, but yeah, so the back has to wanna do it, it has to make sense, we need to talk about what the plan is and how you guys are gonna keep them. Because what we have found analytically is that the ones that you recruit in the spring are the ones that you're gonna recruit in the fall anyway. So, there are some, like Zachary, we finally got the okay to go in and recruit for them. And this has really been, I've joked, and I don't think most of you have heard this, but I've been telling everybody as we're trying to go through and make the changes that we need to do, that this is kind of our puberty year. It's awkward for everybody.
Yeah.
Some of us are, I'm 30 years strong in that puberty state of awkwardness. But, we need to do it the right way. And that's what, I'm committed to do. And so, we're finally in on Zachary and they're, we did the same thing with them. We talked about, okay, what is your plan for the spring? How are we going to provide that quality program for the kids? And so it does help as long as you're committed to it and you're going to do that. But if you're not, if you're going to get dormant for a couple months, it's not a good.
Pinewood Derby is now an elective.
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, I guess it always was.
It's kind of.
But it was never counted for rank.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Now it's counted for rank.
That being a plus, it's okay. Build a Pinewood Derby part counts for rank.
It just the ultimate irony of the Pinewood Derby, for Cub Scouting, it was never about competition, but because the Pinewood Derby took a life of its own from California, and everybody did it, now it's like we have this ultimate focus on a competitive event for Cub Scouts.
Yeah.
And it can,
Competitive event for Cub Scout parents.
yes.
Yeah.
Just ask the show, but they've had about 17 phone calls about having free wheels touching the track instead of forward.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure, it's faster.
And Dorothy's like, I've never heard this. I was like,
It's faster with
This is another change they announced during January is the whittling chip is going away and getting split between the three.
Almost all
Ain't
the
nothing scarier
patches are
than
going away.
Mm-hmm.
Everything they can get
Yeah,
patched
turn
for,
granite
they
with a
can't.
knife.
Our kids are pretty upset about that one.
Seems like knife safety would be before whittling.
No, it's a different kind of knife.
yeah, it goes from like the little wooden plastic knife with the ribbon on the bar. So
Yeah.
So whittling to kitchen knives to everything.
I remember my my 5th grade son was so proud that he got his Cub Scout knife. He brought it to school.
Oh.
almost as good as those fire starters, the hot sparks we can give out from middle school.
Mm-hmm.
I only had one incident
That you know of.
that was reported back to
My
me.
God, got my name on it. Breaks it out. Oh, Lord. Did everything, tried, they wanted to expel a 5th grader.
20 years ago.
25. I will say too, my last promotion or plug on stuff is our national leadership. It's been a while since I've felt, I don't know if comfortable is the right word, but a partnership, I guess. The new national CEO definitely gets it, even though he's having to relearn scouting because he hasn't been involved since he started with Eagle. But our national board chair, Brad Tilden, is the CEO for Alaska Airlines, and he has brought with him the fire hose of transparency and conversations, and it has been extremely healthy and helpful. So, I knew through a lot of areas it was, us versus them, and whether it's a unit versus district, or district versus council, or council versus national, whatever. We're really trying to carry this banner through and through of, it's one scouting. We're all here for that.
We all have the same goal, it's gonna take hours to get there.
We gotta protect it, preserve it, and advance it.
And that's the key three we all talk about, which one's the most important? They're all the most
They're all
important.
important.
The three-legged stool without one leg fall over.
What else you gotta keep?
That's about it. I thought, that was
Everybody felt comfortable with it.
a good review.
I think Cubs, that was great.
Yeah.
Anybody here do Cubs?
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
I love the streamlines for the different lanes.
I think it makes it so much easier.
I don't understand
So much
why it wasn't
easier.
that way a million years ago.
I think
But it is the continuity into scouting.
a
Before
million
you were
years ago,
doing
it was
activities
better.
that you were like,
Not
True,
in this.
yeah.
well, I really need to.
But like in the last 10 years, from what I've heard, it got really complicated
It got
with,
real.
getting rid of belt loops and adding, all of the
They didn't
different.
really get rid of belt loops because they were still there. They
Right.
just got rid of
They,
Common
Type of belt.
they called them belt, and then there were the
Triangles,
beads and
the triangles.
they did a whole bunch of different stuff that sort of
I
like,
took away the arrow points.
lots of changes that.
That was an aggravating
Too many
stuff.
things, and
What's
this
so on?
seems to be a little bit back.
To stay on, yeah. If you're going on camp out there in Class A,
If
it
you
looks
sew
like-
them, they stay
Taking
on.
away all the patches from the elementary kids, though.
What was the thing
That's
that
our
they had
big
where they
one.
had like?
I don't understand. The aluminum cannot be cheaper than.
Well-
I don't know.
And anybody in Cubs, I don't know how long y'all been out of it, but like, if you asked 100 parents in my pack, how do you feel about belt loops? You're gonna get 99 that say these things
Correct.
are horrid.
Yeah.
Training to take a 5 or 6 year old who's got these belt loops to the bathroom is like an Olympic event.
Yeah.
And a pack meeting becomes like, every time a kid needs to go to the bathroom, it's like, oh my word. Like they just missed the whole pack meeting because these loops are just ridiculous and they fall off. And
that's all.
so now they're like, ooh, now you can get more belt loops because everything that was a pack is now a belt loop. So you could potentially have 26 belt loops.
And the kids are
Yeah, I mean, my 8-year-old.
you can have like a
That's why I suggest every rake just clearing out the belts. Uh-huh.
WWE champion title.
Yeah.
Just don't put it on their belt that they wear.
So, quick question for futures: any topics that we can help you as a Cub leader with?
clarification.
You know, and you don't have to come up with it on the spot. Just let us know.
Yeah, our emails are all.
We're happy to learn anything. You know,
And if we don't know, we'll ask somebody who does, and we'll learn something new
we'll
through
find
it
out.
too.
That was kind of a bunch of my thought was like, yeah, I kind of need to know more about the
There's
Cub.
never a stupid question.
We're all open to doing that.
And if you got any other friends that are Cubs, we'd love to have that whole
We usually have somebody here.
demographic.
See, unlike Mike, we're willing to take
like other dens and other packs. We'd love to have everybody.
Big guy does not.
We're very accommodating.
Well,
So Keith, we're finished now.
Yep.
We'll let these people get back to their Tuesday night. Thank y'all. Yes.
Big guy does not.
George. Hey, the same young man, the OA, the child.
Oh, yeah.
Nick.
Nick.
Awesome. Hadn't heard anything about it.
Nope. He reached out to me just to walk through the dates a couple months ago.
Yeah, you CC'd me in on the email. I think we need to do a follow-up on that.
Yeah, because there's no buzz out there, and there should be buzz.
Oh,
out
no,
there
it should be all over, yeah.
Yeah.
And loop me in that email because I'm next, council.
It was just, he said we always do it on the, fourth weekend of April or something like that, so that was the extent of the last round, so if you want to vote.
Yeah, just follow up with him. He's probably very busy as far as they can do it and stuff like that.
So the World Cup weekend happening next month?
Yeah.
What you saying? That's what you said.
Yeah, I don't know what that count is, but it's the show, but it's basically just, Neshoba had that weekend, had that planned. And they're also doing an aero bike crossover for anybody who wanted to take part of that. They have
Yeah, that's pretty
nice,
cool. I thought that was neat.
Just some type of metal arrow that they do like pyrotechnics out of, or all sorts of crazy stuff.
We've done that before.
I know. It's just one of those
At the
things that-
district level, it didn't work great for us, and we ended up, maybe we just needed to do it for a few more years.
Well, again, it's one of those things that, going into next year with the communication, understanding what it is.
Yeah, and the follow through.
Right. And for the units, some
And
units may
having
not have
consistency.
Right.
Consistency. I mean,